What is up, guys? Welcome back. I hope that you guys are having a phenomenal week because if you're paying attention to the news, there's a lot of people around the world that are not. I am Chris, Green Beret medic, husband, and father.
And I'm Pastor Eric, which means that I am a pastor, I am a minister, I likewise am a father, and I am also executive director of a 501c3 that sees to ministry for other people called Love Inc. Anyway, that's who I am in central Wisconsin. Where are you at, young man?
I'm out on the leftist of coasts. Hey, aren't you a police chaplain as well?
I am a police chaplain. In fact, here's my pin. I'm wearing my ID pin tonight. So, yeah, doing some work. I used to be with the actual guys driving, going down the road, but I've been asked if I would actually start working the jail and being a chaplain for the inmates. So it kind of flips me over to do the other side. And it's a really interesting place to be because of the responsibility I have now as a minister and a chaplain. I am a non-reporter and have the ability to remain silent and privacy is protected.
Very cool. Well, those guys need Jesus too. All
Yep.
right. So, coming at you guys this week, what is the cost of a man? We're going to answer that question, which goes back to last week's episode. In the big idea, we're going to catch you up with the latest headlines on who's who and what's new. And then we're going to be talking about the Bible's biggest simp, Samson. I'm really excited. It's one of my absolute favorite stories. Are you ready?
I am ready. Let's tackle this.
Here we go. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into the big idea. And for the big idea this week, we are coming off of last week where we talked about what are the main motivations for people to do bad things. What we had said was that at the end of the day, people really only want three things, and they will do bad things to get them. And that was wealth, power, and prestige. And this week, boom. You had asked me a question while we were going through that discussion last week, and you said, "Well, what is the cost of a man to do that?" And so,
What's his value?
What is the value? Yeah, so I wanted to turn it over to you this week, and let's have that discussion. What was your idea on that? What were you thinking?
Okay, well, as I'm getting ready to do this, I'm going to ask you to do something, and so this is totally off the cuff for our listeners and everything else. Look and see if you can find a survey of what people will do for $1 million.
Okay, I will be looking for this in the background.
You look for that, and I'll go down this road, and then let me know when you got it. So the idea is what will a man sell himself for, or at what price will he end up doing something? I'll give you an example out of my personal life. I believe in staying away from gambling. I believe that my money belongs to me, and how I spend it and how I use it is a reflection of God in my life. And so I don't believe in chance. I don't believe in trying to pay for chance. And so when it comes to gambling, games of chance, I won't do them just because my money belongs to God. And wherever I put my little bit of money, God can be my multiplier and he will do with it what he will. But to give my money to somebody else so that they can do their game of chance or make money off of me, I absolutely will not do that. And so and you say, well, when the Powerball was $1.73 million, you wouldn't buy a $2 ticket just for a chance at having at it? No, I won't, because I don't believe in giving anybody even my $2. I will give my $2 to God and let him magnify them. And that's also called integrity. But I'm not for sale at any price. At any price, not even for 1.73 billion. You can't buy me. It's not going to happen, and I'm going to set it at that high of a level. But what would other people do for 1.73 billion dollars, that winning lottery ticket? What would you do for $1 million? And I think, did you find it?
Yeah. I found something very interesting on a survey website over here. So I have something queued up for you that I think will hit the nail on the head.
Go
of what
right
you're
on
asking
into
for.
it. And
But
so,
okay, go ahead.
go ahead. Yeah. What I was just going to finish by saying, and then I want to hear what you found. I know for a fact that there are people that are willing to do all kinds of things just to get their hands on that $1 million. It's amazing the integrity that will go down. It is amazing their consciousness that they're willing to sever, or things that they're willing to live with just to get that $1 million, because that's where they set their price.
Right.
And what's really funny is what $1 million will not buy anymore. and yet, for $1 million, what people will do, if you were to tell them that I know where the winning lottery ticket is for that $1.73 billion, what would people have done in order to get that?
Yeah.
And
it kind of reminds me.
Soul?
Do you remember that? You remember that movie Jingle All the Way? Which is basically kind of the concept of that film, is what he wouldn't do just to get that one action
toy,
action figure for his kid. And that's
his kid.
That's the plot of the entire film, is that he goes to all these different lengths. You know, at one point he chases that one little kid into the ball pit, and he's like trying to get, you know, that's what I was thinking of while you were saying that.
Or
you know?
Brewster's Millions.
That's a great film.
That is another one. You know, you've got to spend $30 million in 30 days in order to inherit $300 million. Can you do it? And
are you a notary? Yes, I am. How much do you charge?
$20,000.
That's a great film.
Yeah. We almost gave away the ending. But what will people sell themselves for to get that fame, to get that fortune? Yeah. What was the other thing that you mentioned?
Wealth, power, prestige.
So wealth, power, fame, prestige.
Yeah, fame, fortune, and power.
What will people sell themselves for in order to get it? What will they do?
Well, I was watching a very interesting video by Tim Pool was making it earlier this week on his Timcast channel, and it was about women that are leaving, self-proclaimed feminist women that are walking away from corporate jobs to start OnlyFans account and do online pornography. And so you're talking about like what?
Why are they doing it?
For, you know,
money,
or the power,
prestige?
the prestige that they get online for it. The fact that they have to work very little. You know, the hours are so good. It's exactly all the things that you're talking about right now, but for these people, they're not even doing it for a guaranteed paycheck. Like, hey, if you sell yourself online, you know, I will give you this $1 million. It's for the prospect of making that money and having that. So it's like when you say, like, what is the price of a man and what will they give up, you know, for $1 million? There are people that are giving away what I would argue to be their entire dignity.
Their dignity,
their body,
you
know, for even the chance of making money and having this name recognition. And I personally can't understand it. I don't. There's a cognitive dissonance here that I can't bridge over to understand the thinking behind that.
All right.
You know,
what do you got in your survey?
So I found this is on Quora. It's a channel website here. I'm not too familiar with it, but basically the question on this board is, what would you not do for $1 million? And
what would you not do?
Right. So, and then these are some of the answers that, so one user says, I would pretty much do anything if somebody offered me $1 million, walk around naked in public for a month, have horrendous explosive diarrhea for a year, Show my browser history to everyone that I know.
Nothing about that one. I
Sleep.
mean, who cares?
Yeah. This is a female too. Sleep with an octogenarian. Chop off my pinky fingers. It's like, the rest of it's fuzzed out behind a paywall.
So all of these are confessions of and they're saying, well, I'll do this.
Yeah, yeah.
I will cut
But
off
here's
a body part.
Here's an
wow. Wow.
Here's an interesting one coming from the opposite side. This is a male user. It basically says there's quite a few things that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't betray somebody that I cared about for $1 million. I would not take an innocent life. I wouldn't do anything that would be extremely detrimental to my physical or mental well-being. Well, that's very, very subjective, my man.
Yeah.
So he's coming at it from the opposite side. So it's very interesting that up front you have the female user that's just like, I'll do all these horrendous things. I don't care. And this dude's like, that's very interesting.
Do you think that there would be a difference between men and women in this question?
I mean, I would have to say yeah, because there's a fundamental difference between the way that men and women think. I mean, even if you just look at those two answers back to back, I mean, she was talking about like very visceral and very specific things. I'd chop this off. I'd sleep with him. And like he was thinking like much broader terms. Like I'm not going to betray somebody. I'm not going to, what was the other thing he said? I wouldn't betray somebody. I wouldn't take an innocent life, anything that's going to cause an innocent life to be taken. Wouldn't do anything detrimental to my physical or mental health. Well, so
when this poll was there was a poll done by a prominent polling company back in the 90s, and this was a question that was asked: what would you do for $1 million?
Would you?
And it just gave the different categories. I remember this because it just stuck out in my mind. I have never forgotten it. And again, I believe this goes back to the early 90s. But what was said in the early 90s, almost 20% of the people polled said they would commit murder for $1 million. Almost 20%. Do you know for
me in the least?
That was the 90s. What do you think it is now?
Also Gen X they were just harder in general than millennials.
What do you think that would be now? Seriously.
I think a lot of people would lie and say that they would be willing to do it, but in the millennial generation and then even younger Gen Z, I don't think that most people would actually have the stomach or even the skill to pull off murder. I'm just gonna be
okay.
Or strength, physical
but
strength.
But it's interesting that you would say lie. You're not going to lie and tell me that, because do you know that almost 80% said that they would lie against a friend if they thought that it for $1 million?
I mean, I'm surprised it wasn't higher. Most people, like my 5-year-old will lie. Seemingly, just because he's afraid that. Did you take the last cookie? Nope.
Right. That's typical. But for $1 million, something against your friend, would you lie? 80%, like, yeah.
I'd like to see
early 90s.
I shouldn't say that.
You would like to do what?
No, nothing. I was getting ready to like go down a line of thinking, and I was like, no.
Not here?
Yeah.
Not now?
Yeah. Pull myself back from that.
Give me that brake sound.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Face.
So let's wrap this up then, because I see the clock is gone. And the thing of it is what is a man's price? And I would love for this country to be full of people that would say, I can't be bought. You can't buy me. There isn't a price high enough. And the old adage is, no, every man has his price. And I mean,
there's only one man that I know.
And what was that one man's value within himself?
Right. Well, he was also God. So
invaluable, right?
Right.
But I would like for there to be, in light of our current government, in light of our current leadership, I would love for us to have signs that would say, sorry, you can't buy me,
Yeah.
no matter what. And that seems to be something, no, it seems more or less in our current culture that more people will answer to every man has his price.
Yeah.
And
And
that
unfortunately,
that gets me.
most of them are quite low.
Yeah.
Like we said, people are jumping onto OnlyFans and you don't even know that you're going to make that money.
Right.
They'll sell themselves for
All right.
nothing.
So take us on out.
That is depressing. All right.
It
Well,
is.
that was.
It is.
All
It
right.
is.
Anyway, I hope that you guys liked that discussion. I hope you guys liked the video this week. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up. Please make sure that you're getting subbed up. Give us a follow. The algorithms, they do not like this channel. The only way that we, even though I am a trans lesbian now, they still don't like this channel.
That's the one I've been trying to watch. I can't. Okay.
They are not going to help us despite our trans lesbian status here. So the only way that we're going to grow is with your support. So please share the video with a friend. I hope you guys are sticking around for the who's who and what's new and the keeping the main thing. We'll see you there.